I hope that you're all looking forward to Easter. I hope that we'll have sunny weather here in the UK for Easter, but I'm glad somewhat of the rain we've had, drizzle, that's shown itself recently. The plants obviously do need watering. I did buy some seeds that I've planted, but probably not in time to come up as shoots in the tiny plant pots I've chosen in time for Easter. I do hope they will eventually. It was only about a week ago that I did buy the seeds. I hope that they will shoot up and blossom into flowers. I bought some nasturtiums, which may seem an odd choice to some of you. Some of the more conventional seeds were not seeming all that available at the garden centre, but a long time ago, a few years ago, I bought some nasturtiums that were in the sale at the garden centre, and they were beautiful actually. They probably, I think, if I remember correctly, they bloomed twice in 1 year, and then the next year they bloomed twice as well, but then they didn't show themselves after that. But I also bought some marigolds, and there were certainly plenty of seeds comparatively to the lavender seeds, which I did also buy, and some forget-me-not seeds, which were tiny actually. Just think, usually forget-me-nots are carried by birds, forget-me-not seeds and things, but that has not been happening so regularly. I think that the birds might have been mistaking them for food. They have been pecking slightly at the primroses, and I've noticed some pigeons. Not that I dislike pigeons at all, actually. I don't see them as vermin like some people do, or used to. I am not one of the ones who would chase them away from King Square, or not allow them a tiny bit of pastry off my cheese and onion bake from Thomas's. I mean, they are bigger birds, and they do sometimes frighten the smaller birds, which is a shame as well. I worry at the moment that there may not be enough insects around. And I would recommend that you all do insect spot as well as bird watching, and register the insects that you do see. Hopefully you will see on occasion, if not regularly on occasion, hopefully quite regularly this summer somewhat. Not wishing them to be a nuisance like I did once have when I had an ant infestation. I did once spill some sugar in the kitchen, and later on I had to get some nip-on. But that was many, many years ago, and like ant infestations, somewhat, when I say infestation, they weren't all that much of a nuisance, but they were somewhat of a nuisance in the UK, regularly every summer to most housewives. But they haven't been for ages now. And in some ways the housewives might be glad of that. But maybe the birds and so on may be less glad of that. So I don't want to sort of encourage too much insect breeding, sort of, but I mean, you did used to be able to buy those worm farms, didn't you? In the sort of late 1990s, sorry, there were worm farms sold in toy shops. And sometimes they may have been somewhat useful, not only for sort of watching worms, but maybe breeding them slightly. I don't know whether it's necessary or not. I don't know whether they're still available or not. But certainly insect watching, I mean, if you disturb a worm, I mean, they say that worms don't mind if they're cut by a spade and can survive being cut by a spade. But really that would be a cruel act, mostly. You know, I would leave them to be nipped at by birds if they're hungry and taken back to their families. I mean, birds might even take back worms to their families after they've gone through the breeding period. I don't know whether, I mean, we know about birds during the breeding period that the mother, before the chicks leave the nest, or the father go off seeking worms for them. But I don't know much about their home life and so on later on. Whether they follow a hunter-gatherer type situation somewhat, as well as hunting individually for insects. But as I say, I've noticed them pecking the flowers and the buds, which is obviously very worrying. And like, I'm not sure that buying seeds, seeds for bird seed, I've never been fully sure whether that's enough of an answer for them. It's certainly a kind answer if they're struggling somewhat, but I'm sort of the opinion that maybe insects do need some help as well.